Well, I wanted to record a short video on a topic I see discussed a lot, which is business models. And I see a lot of like content about this. People will have like videos where they'll like rank business models and so forth. And there's a lot of discussion about it. And I just wanted to give my 2 cents on the topic because I think that a lot of people that are like new to business online, they'll kind of get tripped up by this, and it's like kind of a controversial thing. So yeah, basically, like the way that I feel about business models is I think that there's a little bit too much emphasis put on the business model nowadays, and basically any business model can work. It's just an issue of can it work for you? Like, are you equipped to actually perform the task necessary? So, people will rank business models like, oh, SaaS is the best business model or agency is the best business model, but a lot of times I feel like people that are new to this, they'll get tripped up in that and they'll think that one's better than the other. But the truth is that it's really all about your skill set and like what you can do, right? So if there's a guy who spent 10 years in the corporate world doing software development, that's going to be super different for versus someone who has been editing YouTube videos for like 1 year, right? Like you just really have to look at your own skill set, and I would say just go off that. Like what I do is sometimes I'll just audit myself. Like I'll look back at my career, my history, and what I've done and what I've excelled at and what people have actually paid me money for, and I'll use that as like the barometer for what I should do, in the future. Because everyone's so different. You know what I mean? Like, if you spent a couple years learning how to be like the best video editor, but then you look at some video and it's talking about like starting a software, you're like, oh, maybe I should start a software. But a lot of times, I feel like the best thing to do is like stick with your talent, stick with your skill that you have historically been good at, and kind of go from there. Like personally, in my life, I've tried like almost every business model. I mean, like I get caught up in like shiny object syndrome so much that I look at some guy who's like making $500,000 a month, and he's like 19 years old doing some crazy business model like affiliate marketing, and I'm like, oh my god, it looks so easy, right? And so I'll try that, but then I won't really stick with it. I won't stick with it for very long because I won't have much conviction in it because it's not actually something that's like in my wheelhouse, right? And it's not something I really believe in that much. So I won't have that conviction to actually see it through, and it causes like shiny object syndrome, which is like another big pitfall of like beginners, right? So that's why I think it's so important to actually stick with things that you know and that you are like familiar with, because that way you're actually going to have like the conviction to see it through. Because whatever you do, there's going to be pitfalls. There's going to be times where you feel like giving up, but if you're someone who, again, to go back to an example, like if you have been editing videos for 10 years, then you're going to be able to fall back on that skill set and be like, you know what, I got this, I'm an expert, and you're going to actually believe in yourself to see it through. So, yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. I think that there is no business, no best business model. Like, whatever you choose, there's going to be someone who's done it successfully at like a really high level. Like, if you want to do, even if you want to do something like start a lawn care company, like a lot of people will be like, oh, that's a bad business model. But the truth is that if you're the best person at lawn care, you're going to find a way to build that up and be ultra successful at it. So, yeah, I think that whatever you want to do, just look at, your personal skill set, look at what people have paid you to do in the past, look at what you love doing, what gives you energy, and kind of go from there. And don't worry about, the best business model. So,